So let me open and show you that ls-l. ZD, I think the problem name is CD UP class ls-l, which is ZD.sh. Yes. So /ZD.sh. Sorry, ZD.sh. Okay, enter a number that is 8, which is positive. And let me execute one more time. That is 0, which is 0. Let me execute -8, which is negative. Okay. So nano ZD.sh. Otherwise, instead of nano, let me open in terms of VI. VI could be able to display completely with black color. ZD.sh. You can go ahead this one here. Okay. So you could able to specify your if statement something like this. And today I'll give you some more what you call some number of problems to you. So better to complete all those problems by Sunday, and by Sunday evening you please submit the same in the DBMS class, DBMS classroom, Google Classroom. So I'll go through that. Okay. So however, this is the way you could write your program. Okay. Then let me introduce very important operation in terms of if that important operation is, so one more important operation is TEST, test. Normally greater than, less than, and whatever the relational operators, whatever the logical operators, they will be taken two different types of parameters, something like that. Just before we have seen, so $A is -LT less than or whatever it may be -LT, and $B. If you take something like this, then it could be, let me write in a complete way. So if parenthesis open, and then so parenthesis close, then so you maybe write something like this, then, and you could write some kind of statements for this particular statement will be, or this condition will be true or false. Okay, so it could be taken two different types of so parameters or arguments will be taken by this particular operator, or operands will be taken by this particular operator, and based on that it could be checks whether it is true or false. But whereas test is another kind of so special kind of operator which is used to test for so one particular condition. This test is always trying to display whether given thing is true or false. Of course, these two also, I mean, all relational operators and logical operators also be done true or falses only, but these can be taken more than one operand as parameter for those operators. But here in test, so it could be checking for whether true or false by taking single parameter or single operand for the checking of true or false here. Normally, test can be checks that why test is being used here. So let us consider here we have several number of files which are available with me. So add.sh and then other.sh, a.txt, many number of so files are available here. Let me check out by using my program, by using my so a small shell script. Let me check that whether it is a file or directory. First of all, whether it is file or directory. If it is file, so how many? What are the specific attributes or permissions they have been articulate by so user in the sense RWX for only this particular thing. Okay, how many number of permissions have been articulate for user, it will be checks. It will be checking for this particular kind of issue we would like to take into consideration by this particular test here. Test is always trying to check that whether given parameter is a file or directory. If it is file or if it is directory, what kind of parameters, permissions have been endorsed by you to that particular file will be checks in a proper way. So for checking such kind of things, what switches you are supposed to use? So for file or directory, you would like to check that number one, so -e in the sense whether it is existed or not. You may be taken, for example, you may be taken, so file as input, the name of the file will be taken into a variable that is file. So whether this file is existed in the present working directory or not, existed in the so PWD in the sense present working directory or not, if it is existed or not. So it could be written true or false. If it is really existed, then it could be written true. If it is not existed, it could be written false. That is the meaning here. -e will be taken like that. Then if it is existed, that name is available within the present working directory, then we will go for whether it is file or not. -f will be, switch F will be taken. So whether it is file or not, whether it is a file or not. If it is really file, so it could be generates, test will be generates true. If it is not a file, if it is other than file, then it could be generates false. Okay. Similarly speaking, -d will be considered as so far you may be identify what is -d. -d in the sense, so directory. Okay. So let me say it is a file or not. It could be checking for file or not. Okay. So whether it is a directory or not. Directory or not. If it is directory, it could be written true. Otherwise, it could be written false. Okay. And these three will be considered for existence of file or existence of directory or existence of the name within the present working directory or not. If it is existed, it is file or directory. We'll be checking by this particular thing. Now, how could you check for read, write, or execute permissions? -r will be goes for so read permission, whether you have given read permission or not. Read permission has given to that whether it is file or a directory, whatever. Maybe let me write $file. Whatever the content within the file, whether that particular file is existed or directory is existed, do you have read permission to that or not? If it is having, then it could be returns true. If it is not having, it could be returns false. Similarly, so -w. So same in the similar fashion here also, same kind of output will be taken into consideration here. So instead of read, we would like to consider as write permission, whether write permission has been so available or not. Write permission is existed for that particular file, what you have taken as input here. It could be checks for that, like that. Then followed by -x. -x in the sense, so execute permission, whether your file does have whatever the name you have been taken after existence and confirm that it is a file or that is a directory. So things that whether it is having so execute permission or not. So in this way, you can check out, okay, using if structure. So you may be check that whether a file will be taken as input from the keyboard while executing any program. You may be taken some name as input. That name will be existed within the present working directory or not. By using this particular switch, you may be check out. You may be check out for the for existence of this particular file is existed or not. If it is existed, whether it is a file or directory, you may be check it out. And so if it is a file or directory, after deciding whether it is a file or directory, you may be check out that whether read permission is given to that particular file or directory. If it is yes or no, you have to check it out. If it is having write permission or execute permission, all permissions are there with you or not. Let me check it out. So one by one, using your shell scripting, how this could be executed here. Okay. So these are the things which we'd like to consider here. Let me write nano file name is FIL. Okay, let me take whatever the name it may be. Name is name doesn't matter here. Okay, so clear. So echo ECHO. So enter a file name. A file name. Let me take one particular file name. Read FILE. Read the same thing in terms of FILE. The variable name is FILE. Let me check that whether this FILE file does existed within the present working directory or not. So how it could be checked here in the sense if, so one more, let me go to the explanation part here, notepad. While you are operating this test operation, this particular test operation, no need to give this open and closed braces. Open and closed braces are not required. So how you could operate here in the sense? So this is the way. If test hyphen, for example, existence of the file hyphen e, so $file, then you will go ahead. Okay, like that you have to evaluate. There is no need to, I mean, this open and closed braces are not required. These are not required here. These are not required. Please remember this one while you have to operate the test operation. Let me go ahead with this one here. If so, test hyphen e, so $file. Okay, if that file, whatever the name you have been taken, whether it has been existed within the present working directory only, it is not supposed to check anywhere else. It could be evaluates within the present working directory or directory or not. That's all. Okay, then yes, your file has been existed. Then what we are supposed to do? What exactly we are trying to do here? You may be check that. So whether so that is file or directory. If so test, let me go for my first option is file hyphen f. So what is the file $file or not? Whether it is file or not. Yes, it is existed. It is a file. Yes, I know it is a file. Now you can check for read permission. I will go for only read permission. You please check all other permissions here. So if so test hyphen r, so the same file name FILE or not. So if it is file only, I'd like to perform. If it is directory, I don't perform anything here. Okay, then so what shall you have to specify here? You maybe provide your own so echo $file, not percentile, it is dollar, sorry. $file is a file and does have read permission. Let me write READ, read permission. You please check for all other. Okay, so FI, so read permission is gets over. Okay, I want to check for only read permission. So inner loop will be FI, it is okay. If it is not existed, file does not existed, you have to provide some message here. That message is echo, so $FILE does not a file. It is not a file actually. Okay, you have to specify like that. Now it's been FI, sorry, FI. Okay, and outermost loop, if it is not existed, you have to generate some message also here also. Okay, else if it is not specified something like that, then what shall we have to do here is so echo, what exactly we are supposed to specify? $FILE, so does not existed. Okay, FI. Hope that you got the point. I have checked for whether file is existed within the present working directory or not. So if it is existed, then I'll go for whether it is file or not. So confirm that yes, it is a file. Then does it have read permission or not? If it is having read permission, I'll immediately display that yes, read permission only. After displaying this one, I'll come out from the loop immediately. It doesn't. I know. I believe that everybody have some idea how if structure, nested if structure is being executed. Okay. If this condition is true, then go for second condition, that is -f. If this condition also true, then go for this particular condition. Yes, it is also true. It will be displace this particular message and come out from the whole structure. For example, first condition is true and the second condition is true. So then third condition, if this is false, I doesn't display anything. Otherwise, you could display here also. There is no problem at all. You please display something also here. So else, you please specify else. So echo $file, so does not have read permission. Okay, maybe please display this particular thing. The based on your interest, whatever the interest you maybe have with you, Fi. Okay, if this condition also, if this condition also false, if this condition also false, you maybe have this particular message. If this condition is true, then you could get this message. If first one is true and second one is false, you maybe display this particular this particular line as output. And the first one is false itself, then you maybe display this particular condition. Let us check out this. Let us check out this whether it is executing properly or not. Okay. So before going to take this one, let me check one particular condition here. So a.txt, my file name will be, I would like to take this particular name first, and let me so take off all permissions from this one, chmod, so 000 from a.txt. Let me take off everything and ls-l a.txt. Check out this one here. No permission is allotted. There is no permission is allotted. We will check for a.txt is existed or not in the present working directory. Then, okay, let me display at top. Okay, we will, as per our program, we will check for whether a.txt is existed or not. So if it is existed, then check that whether it is a file or not. If it is a file, then whether read permission is there for this particular file or not. These are the operations what we did in our program. Okay. So probably our program name is, I forgot about the program name. What is that program name? SUBina? No, fil.sh, I think. fil.sh is our file name. So nano fil.sh. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. So chmod u plus x fil.sh. Yes, it has been taken into consideration. Now let me execute fil.sh. Look at this. So let me take abxxx. It is not available with me. abcdef. This file is not available with me. This file is not existed with me in our present working directory. Look at this. abcdef does not existed. That is the output. Second one is, let me take a.txt. a.txt. Yes, it is existed and it is not at all a directory. Yes, it is considered as a file and does not have any read permission. Read permission is not existed. Now let me allocate read permission for this one. Okay, let me take, just wait for a while. So class 1, it is a directory actually. Class 1 is a directory. Let me take, so this particular execution at this point of view. So /fil.sh, so class1. So it is not a file. We don't know whether it is directory or not. We are not concerned with the directory over there. So it is not a file. Actually, it is not a file. So as per the directory, it is a directory. So however it may be. Then let me go ahead with one more execution. One more kind of execution. So a.txt. Yes, it is a file and does not have any read permission. Let me operate read permission for this one. chmod. So u plus r to a.txt. Yes, ls-l a.txt. Look at this. Yes, read permission has allocated here. So now read permission is allocated. Then let me execute the same file one more time. So a.txt. Yes, you can check out this one. So a.txt is a file. It is a file and does have read permission. Okay. In this way, you could check that. Let me open with vi. So fil.sh. In this way, so test is being executed. So you could see this test is being taken into consideration like this. Okay. So this is the specification, and I'll give you some number of experiments to you to evaluate. So probably some 10 experiments will be given to you on ifs only, simple if only. So you please go ahead and execute all those. Write all those experiments and send to me through DBMS Google Classroom. Okay, I will check out each and every person whether it is executed properly or not. So in this way, you can check out this TEST. Okay, TEST will be check out something like this. For our convenience, I'd like to extend this particular thing. I'd like to Okay, you please extend. Myself, I am not supposed to extend anything. You please extend here. Okay, whether it is having some other number of permissions or not, you please extend. Okay, so this is the way you have to identify. You have to evaluate the TEST using IF. Okay, then let me go ahead with while loop. Let me go ahead with while loop. Okay, before going to take this while loop, so let me do one thing here. You are writing your if condition here. Okay, let me open this one by using Nano, because very easy to navigate with Nano. Open. Yeah, where it is Nano. Yeah. So here you are always trying to write your statement if followed by some condition, next line then. So it seems somewhat awkward for us, because continuously it may not be remained by us. So that what you are supposed to do, if you want to write the if and then in the same line, so after finishing of your condition, just give one space and followed by semicolon, again a space, and then you have to pick up that particular statement to the same line. Okay, one space, semicolon, so one space, and pick up the same the line, the then into same line. It could be accepted. It could be accepted. Look at this. Let me execute this one for a while after complete modification. Look at this. If statement is available here, and semicolon followed by then here, followed by then. Previously, then will be placed in the next line actually. Okay, by default it could be goes to next line. Let me execute this one for a while. So ./fil.sh. Okay, so file name is same a.txt. Let me take the same. So look at this. Everything is same. There is no errors which has been generated by this particular thing. So if you want to execute same command, I mean two commands in the same line, so you just put semicolon and you have to operate the next command and so on and so forth here. Okay, in this way you could execute. Let me go ahead with looping structures. So iterative structures are only while. Of course, for also be there, but for cannot be used for logical operations. That can be used for only directories. Let me introduce that for after this particular class. So while, how you can take this particular while in terms of C or C++, while this is the structure actually, open brace, open parenthesis, and you may be write condition and open curly brace, and you may be write how many number of statements you are expected to write. Yes, you are go ahead and write as many number of statements over there. And finally, so before going to this particular while, loop initiator is equal to value. You have to initiate the value. You need to construct the condition based on the loop initiator. After writing all necessary statements, you may be update loop initiator. Loop initiator value must be updated to iterate the condition. Finally, you have to close this one. For example, 1 to n numbers will be generated here. Loop initiator I will be equal to 1. So followed by, so while 1 to 10 numbers will be generated by you, while I less than or equal to 10. So loop initiator, with loop initiator, I have constructed a condition here. And then what exactly? Printf. So %d comma I has been generated. And then I has been incremented here by taking I equal to I plus 1, then closed brace. So here, what does it mean? So loop initiator equal to value in the sense, so this is the value. Condition must be confirmed with the loop initiator. Yes, it has been so created with the loop initiator, and I have to take number of statements. What exactly you required? Yes, I have taken one statement here, and I plus plus, which is update the loop initiator. I may be increase the value here so that it could be so executed. Same thing could be done by using this what do you call shell scripting. How we could done here. So here also WHILE, here also you could take loop initiator, so is equal to value, the same thing. So WHILE followed by single space. Spaces are particularly taken by the shell scripting here. Open, so that square bracket followed by, so condition. This condition must be so initiated by using So loop initiator only. I'll give you the same example which I have given in the previous just before. So then followed by do, then you have to write your own number of statements here. How many number of statements you are expected to write? So own number of statements will be written by you. Then followed by you have to produce or you have to update loop initiator. Okay. Then followed by DONE, done. Okay, DONE, done. It has been taken into consideration. So now let me write a small program which is illustrate you like this here. So initially I will be equal to 0. I has been taken as 0 here. You need to take while the condition is so $I is less than or equal to so 10. It is a constant value, so that 10 will be taken as it is. Do, so let me echo, let me produce the output here, $I, then followed by so I equal to EXPR expression $I plus 1 expression is gets over, then done. In this way, you have to perform the same operation what we have taken into consideration here. Let me do the same problem in Unix. Okay. So let me come out from this one. And then nano LOOP loop.sh. Okay. So clear. And then echo enter any value or any number, whatever the number you are expected to take the input here. Read as n here. Loop initiator I will be equal to 1. So while, so what is that? $I is less than or equal to $n. Previously 10 has been taken. If n value will be how much, it could be generated. Okay. Do, so what I am supposed to do here, I'd like to echo so $I value could be generated, then followed by I equal to EXPR, so $I plus 1, and the code will be closed. Okay, expression, so it will be closed. DONE, done. Okay, so look at this. Let me execute this one for a while. Okay, chmod u plus x to loop.sh. Yes, that has been taken. loop.sh. Okay, let me take some 10. Okay, it could be generated the values as 10 here. The values as 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on 10. So here the problem is, so we maybe face one particular problem here is each and every line one value is being generated. So then how could I generate side by side? Okay, echo could be changed, a small kind of change must be taken into echo here. So how you could take into consideration here, a switch is there with echo, that is -n. Okay, let me check it out for a while here. So yes, and then execute. So 10. Now you could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After displaying one particular value, you have to provide some space. That is the solution to display continuously. So followed by, so 1, 2, 3. 3 spaces will be taken into consideration by me. Let me execute this one for a while. Yes, come out and execute the same. So look at this 10. Now you could see 3 spaces will be generated from each and everything. There are 2 different types of ways to be displayed by this echo here. Okay. In this way, you can execute. You can write your problem here. Let me open in VILOOP.sh. Okay, you can see this one. In this way, you can so -n will be what exactly? N can be done here in the sense -n will be stay the cursor in the same line. If you are switch off this -n from echo, so after displaying something, it will be goes to next line. So that is the difference between print and println. In terms of Java, system.out.print. If you take print, the cursor will be stayed in the same line. If you take println, the cursor will be moved to next line. Similarly here, if you are switch off this -n, So it will be goes to next line. If you put -n, the cursor will be stays in the same line. Okay. Based on that, yes, you could go ahead and execute several number of programs which are used to get some kind of experience with what do you call shell scripting here. So this is what the class today. I wanted to depict this particular class today, and I will prepare some more number of problems for you, and I will send through DBMS Google Classroom. So if you want to specify, if anybody have some problem to connect with the Google Classroom, so you please note down this particular note down this particular code, apply for Google Classroom, go to Google Classroom, and so take plus, somewhere else plus will be here in Google Classroom. Let me show you for a while. Yes, some plus will be there here, some plus will be there. Click on this plus, and so here, this is the code 5A GNCP6. This is the code. So I have already posted this code to your both groups, and otherwise, Mr. Baswaras, please take care about this particular code and send to everybody who are not yet registered with the DBMS. Please register with that, so that this code will be evaluates you. Otherwise, I'll create one more classroom. Okay, UP classroom will be created, and I will send it out. So okay, just wait for a while. I'll create one more classroom for you for Unix programming. I will send that classroom code to you people through share through both groups. Accordingly, you have to re-register to that particular classroom also. So you will send your executed programs, otherwise written programs, to that particular classroom. Then I will evaluate each and everything and let you know whether it is correct or not. Okay. So I'll create one more thing. I'll create. Yes, time is also be there with me. Let me create right now. Let me create right now in front of you. Please stay back here. Please stay back here. So let me create one more classroom for you. So create a class. Yes, I have read all instructions, and the class name will be Unix programming, and section will be 3rd CSE Unix. Okay, here let me say it is Unix, and here the programming could be taken in the subject name Unix programming, and room will be 2. I don't know what is our number, 211. Okay, your classroom name number. Let me create this one. Let me create this one. It will take 1 or 2 30 seconds to 40 seconds to create the classroom based on the bandwidth perfection of the internet. Yes. Yes, it has been created. Now you can see this is the code for the Unix classroom. So Unix Google Classroom code is this one. Okay, I just enter into this one and ask everybody to join this classroom immediately. Unix Google Classroom. Okay, Google Classroom. The code will be this one. Okay, you please enter that particular code. So here you could see where it is, probably here. So you just click on click on this plus sign after this one, join class. Thereby you can take that particular code, then you will be joined into so-called classroom here. Okay, in this way you have to finish up the work. Okay, so this is today's class. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you.